A year after getting settled in Indian Territory, John Horse requests to return to Florida to gather up his family who've yet to migrate. It works out that the U.S. government has a need for his talents. John Horse is allowed to return to Florida as an interpreter and a guide for the U.S. Army. General Walker K. Armistead requests John Horse convince his old friend and comrade Wildcat to set down his weapons, cease fighting, and safely migrate to Indian Territory. Wildcat isn't so willing to leave the land that so many of his tribesmen have died for. On March 5, 1841, Wildcat, known in his native tongue as Kuwakuchi, rides into camp with his loyal band of warriors by his side. In order to impress the U.S. Army commanders that he understands the ways of the white men, Wildcat shows up in his finest threads. He and his warriors wear purloined Shakespearean costumes to the meeting.
Having recently attacked a theatrical troupe near St. Augustine and appropriated their wardrobe, the Indian delegation was enabled to appear en grande tenue.
According to military historian Theophilus Rodenbaugh, they were dressed in stolen Shakespearean costumes.
Coacucci had donned the nodding plumes of the Prince of Denmark. At his elbow appeared, with an evident sense of the fitness of things, Horatio. And close behind came another proud monarch of the forest, wrapped in King Richard's robes, which were not unbecoming the wearer, and would have been imposing, had not a keen sense of the ludicrous strongly tempted some of the spectators to unseemly levity, which was repressed with an effort, and in the interest of diplomacy.
And so, dressed as Hamlet, Seminole War Chief Wildcat negotiates for peace with the U.S. Army. To be or not to be? That truly is Wildcat's existential question. In his talks with the U.S. military, Wildcat promises that he will stop fighting, that he will round up his people. Once together, they will accept removal to the Indian Territory. But then, Wildcat takes his time leaving Florida. He keeps promising he'll gather up more people. He asks for rations and for whiskey. When he comes back weeks later empty-handed, the U.S. Army officers grow suspicious that Wildcat is up to his old tricks, stalling, stocking up supplies, and planning to escape again into the Florida swamps. A young William Tecumseh Sherman is ordered to find and arrest Wildcat. True to his later shows of efficiency when he burns a wide path through Georgia during the Civil War, Sherman handles his business. He finds Wildcat, he captures him, along with his brother, his uncle, 13 warriors, and 3 Black Seminoles. Wildcat is manacled in irons, loaded on a wagon, and then shipped to New Orleans, where he is to be transferred to a riverboat and headed up north to Indian Territory. But a new military authority, Colonel W.J. Worth, takes over the Florida campaign. He has a progressive plan to clear all the natives out of Florida. He believes he can convince the holdouts to go and that he can get Wildcat to do it for him. In fact, he firmly believes he needs the Seminole leader to help him if he has any hope of ending the long and costly war. When Colonel Worth hears an Army report that Wildcat has been captured, he's elated. But then he hears that Wildcat is currently en route from Tampa Bay to New Orleans. This ruins Colonel Worth's plans to leverage the charismatic leader to work for him. He orders Wildcat to be returned to Florida at once. On the 4th of July, Colonel W.J. Worth meets Wildcat's transport ship in Tampa Bay. With him, he brings John Horse as his interpreter. John Horse is reunited aboard ship with his old war comrade, Wildcat. The now freed black man working as a guide and interpreter for the U.S. Army is in an odd position. What looks to be betrayal, Wildcat seemingly understands. He knows what's at stake for his old friend and his people. When Colonel Worth speaks first, John Horse translates his words into Seminole for Wildcat, and thus he ends up speaking aloud both sides of one of the most moving exchanges in American history.
Ukokuchi, I take you by the hand as a warrior, a brave man. You have fought long and with a true and strong heart for your country. I take your hand with feelings of pride. You love your country as we do. It is sacred to you. The ashes of your kindred are dear to you and to the Seminoles. These feelings have caused much bloodshed, distress, and horrid murders. It is time now the Indian felt the power and the strength of the white man. Like the oak, you may bear up many years against strong winds, but the time has come when it will fall. That time has arrived, Kukokachi. I'm your friend. So is your great father in Washington. What I say to you is true. My word is for the happiness of the red man.
After the military officer is done speaking, John Horse turns his attention to his old friend. John Horse faithfully translates Wildcat's response. I was once a boy. Then I saw the white man afar off. I hunted in these woods, first with a bow and arrow, then with a rifle. I saw the white man and was told he was my enemy. I could not shoot him as I would a wolf or a bear. Yet, like them, he came upon me. Horses, cattle, and fields, he took them from me. He said he was my friend. He abused our women and children and told us to go from the land. Still, he gave me his hand in friendship. We took it. Whilst taking, he had a snake in the other. His tongue was forked. He lied and stung us. I asked but for a small piece of these lands, enough to plant and to live upon. Far south, a spot where I could lay the ashes of my kindred. This was not granted to me. I was put in prison. I escaped. I have again been taken. You have brought me back. I am here. I feel the irons in my heart. In the moment shortly after John Horse finishes translating Wildcat's words, a nearby government vessel, a Navy ship sitting at anchor in the harbor, fires off its guns. It's to celebrate freedom and independence. It's a salute for the 4th of July. It's quite a moment in American history. For the next year, John Horse and Wildcat work for the U.S. Army, convincing all remaining natives in Florida to peacefully relocate to Indian Territory. As a reward for his service, on February 22, 1842, Worth, now General Worth, reconfirms John Horse's prior agreements with Generals Jessup and Zachary Taylor that John Horse is a free man. By that following summer, John Horse is now ready to travel back to Indian Territory. He's free, and he has land promised to him located in the Seminole Nation. On July 14, 1842, John Horse and his family board a ship headed west out of Tampa Bay. 1 month later, on August 14, 1842, the Second Seminole War is declared officially over. General Jessup once correctly called the Second Seminole War what it had turned out to be. He had warned this is, quote, a Negro war, not an Indian war. Accepting the truth of his statement is key to their victory. Once the U.S. offers freedom and land to the Black Seminoles, the war is effectively over. Their native allies can't maintain the war without John Horse and the other Black Seminoles.